Hi, I'm Ashy. Today I have Wa,
I'm sick.
and I also have Dez.
I was in the ER last night, so I'm not doing well either.
Yeah,
Good
they're they're
session.
they're,
Let's go.
they're having a rough time of it. So,
20.
I want to take a break from some companions to talk about some feats. Mostly because the rest of the companions, they need a little something, like, extra to, like, qualify for them, either, like, some kind of feat or a class feature. So, specifically, I want to discuss some of the feats that will live on the player characters sheet. Starting at the top, we have Animal Ally. Though Animal Ally itself kinda calls for Nature Soul here as a prerequisite, so 2 feats for it. It's basically just a skill feat for K-Nature and Survival, so definitely a tax feat. Though, what it lets you do is take Animal Ally, which gives you an Animal Companion. So basically Ranger scaling, -3 to level, limited list, including Badger, Bird, Camel, Cat, a big rat, a pupper, a horse, a pony, a viper, or a wolf. The wolf is probably the best thing on that list, by a margin.
You know, looking at this is not actually 2 feet. It's 3, because you're probably going to want Boone.
You'll probably want Boone,
Yeah.
because it'll give you that.
Inefficient.
It'll give you that 3 missing.
These feats have only ever been useful to me once, and that was when I was literally just trying to create Shadow from Final Fantasy VI, a ninja who had an attack dog.
It's probably also worth mentioning that your effective druid level from this will stack with any other sources of druid level. So I think you can technically cheat the animal companion scaling by saying, yeah, I have this character level, which this feat cares about, -3, plus another 5 from druid or whatever, because 5 of my levels are druid. That said, if you're going that far into druid or another animal companion, you might as well just, well, you might as well kind of just have that class from the beginning. So, talking about Boon Companion, since you'll probably be taking that if you take Animal Soul. Boon Companion allows an Animal Companion to scale like 4 levels higher. Not to a max of your actual class level. This allows a companion to like be on scale with a player if they're using the Animal Ally or their Ranger or some other class that gives them an Animal Companion just on delay. It can also be useful for multi-classing out of a class with a companion.
Well, considering that towards the end of progression, towards level 20, Animal Companions sort of stop scaling around, what, 16 hit dice?
Yeah, they're topping in 16 HD.
Because of their slow HD progression, this is generally a very useful survival tool anyway. Because it will mean they've got more hit points, better BAM, better saves. That -3 from Ranger and classes like it is pretty fucking detrimental. As it happens.
It's kind of painful. I mean, Jakuli was also kind of a couple levels behind, at the very least, but was able to keep up based on shenanigans and whatnot, but yeah.
Yeah, it was one of the better animal companions fused with an outsider to give it collateral hybrid stats. So, yeah, it wasn't actually a companion, it was an outsider. It was basically a running off companion.
Oh yeah, and if it's relevant to your interests, Boon Companion can be taken multiple times. Why you would do this or when you would do this?
You really don't know what you're doing with those feats, goddamn.
When you're like in a class that just doesn't care about its feats as much, like some sort of spellcaster, but you're also cross-class so many times that you've like developed a litter of animals.
Oh, don't say that. I'm gonna start making jokes. Don't
Yeah.
say things like that.
Let's move on to Animal Soul then. So, Animal Soul. It allows you to reap the benefits of the animal typing by not allowing spells or effects to affect you if they cannot affect both your type and the animal type. So, no hold or dominate person, no ghoul touch, things like that.
You can choose to not allow spells and effects to affect you if they would not be capable of affecting both. If they would not be capable... No, that's not true. Wait. if they would not be capable of affecting both you and the original creature, okay, I
Mhm.
understand what that's saying.
Yes.
Because the way I initially read it was, well, if they can't affect both of you, then you can say no. I'm like, yeah, that's all. Okay, I misread.
So something
Reading
can only
comprehension.
target a your base creature type, but can't target an animal. You can hide
If
behind
it
the
was-
animal type.
Immune
Yeah.
to dominate person. Need
Immune to
dominate,
dominate person.
monster.
Mhm.
That kind of stuff.
That's not a bad. This is not a bad defensive feat, actually. Especially in the early to mid game, where it is just generally hold person, dominate person, charm person.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
It,
And it
it is
requires-
I mean,
a
I like
very
it.
good. It is a very good defensive feat and could absolutely be worth the feat slot.
It could be. Pack Tactics. This isn't 5e Pack Tactics, so don't get excited. It causes your animal companion to be treated as though it had all of your teamwork feats for determining whether you or your allies benefit from them. The animal companion does not actually benefit unless it has the feat in question. This feat might be viable for like non-hunters and non-cavaliers, maybe if they intend to go into teamwork feats.
I mean, they are good.
Teamwork feats are pretty good.
Though, if you're like, I'm a druid and I want to use teamwork fees, you just pick them up and put them on hunter and go play this instead.
That's kind of my thinking. Like
I mean,
in most
yeah, like. Oh, go ahead.
like in most cases that you would consider doing this with teamwork feats, you're probably already going to be playing a class that actually just makes more benefit of them.
Yeah. Like, if you're wanting to do something like this, just like go with the monster tactician fucking inquisitor, who get like both solo tactics and the ability to give their summons teamwork feats and stuff like that, and give their animal companion teamwork feats just for free.
That's an animal companion isn't involved in that equation though.
What do you mean? The monster hunter gets an animal companion. The monster tactician.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
I'm wrong and stupid.
Yeah, that inquisitor actually kind of nuts. It's a bit of a summon build.
With an animal companion.
Animal
Yeah.
companion, and instead of summon monster, it's summon nature's ally, which you
Fuck
can
it, just take
absolutely-
leadership too.
I mean, when I was playing it, I had a wolf as my companion, and then I made a pack of wolves with my summon, and they were just using outflank and trip shenanigans.
So yeah, Pack Tactics might not be bad, but also if you're doing this, there's probably better things that you could be doing.
And that int of 13 just murders it because most of the classes that have an animal companion don't care about int.
You mean to say they're wisdom based?
Yeah.
Alright, so Master of Falconry or Andorian Falconry. So we also have another little tax feed here. It benefits Handle Animal and Ride. And then there's Master of Falconry, which does a couple things. The first thing, like, you get another little boost to Handle Animal if you are interacting with birds of prey. And most bird companions can get one of the following bonuses here. And to be honest, these bonuses, like, even if you had all of them, they wouldn't make smaller birds any good. Well, larger birds like the giant owl, though, could make use of them.
I mean,
Granted, I'm
let's
not-
be fair. The tier list said fucking F for bird. That
Yeah,
should show exactly where this feat belongs.
I thought it was D for bird.
it was originally D for
Yeah, but
bird,
the-
but
But
Birds-
then we added dinosaurs and stuff.
birds
Ah.
can't really defend themselves.
No.
That said, like, the giant owl is an example of a bird of prey that could actually make benefit of this, because that was actually just a good bird up in, like, B tier or so.
I mean, that is nice, but again, you're gonna spend 2 feats to make your
To give a
bird a
+1 to
little bit
hit,
better.
or a +1 to AC, or a +2 to will.
fuck even because
Not
of
really
there
worth
being a
2
feat
feats.
tax. Oh, and let's not forget also charisma of 13. This one
charisma
is
of 13.
asking for the other stat that you're probably not going to be too great at.
It's possible, yeah.
Yeah, no, this is
It's
cute idea, but it should have just been its own standalone feat. Get rid of the feat tax, get rid of the fucking stat tax, and just... And
If
even
this
then,
was-
it'll not get picked.
If this was even a standalone feat, it'd probably still be ignored. Because, like, a +1 to the bonuses are really what you're looking for. And it's only like, yeah, pick one of these. If it gave you all 3, then there might be room to talk.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, between the hunter and its ability to just give aspects to the animal companion, that sort of just does more than what this wants to do.
yeah. Unfortunately, it doesn't do a whole lot. So, next up we have Evolved Companion. Here's one we might actually have something nice to say about.
I do
Yeah,
like
it has that-
companion.
It has that Charisma 13 requirement, but what it does is allows you to grant a 1-point evolution from the Eidolon list. Aside from Reach
Other
or
than
Pounce
pounce or reach.
to your companion, shape and size restrictions will also apply. You can take it multiple times. It might be worthwhile at least once. Like giving an animal companion like bleed, for example, pretty good. Giving
There's a few decent things it can do, like giving them the ability to grasp with like an
Yeah.
actual Trogdor arm. Things like that. I mean, I like it. I've taken this numerous times if it's like, okay, well, my animal companion is lacking in this little bit of tiny bit of utility, and it can make use of it.
yeah. Unfortunately, taking it multiple times gives you additional 1-point evolutions. It doesn't read like it can stack up, because if you could stack it up to take 3 or 4-point evolutions, then you could do some really funny things with it.
I mean, I think it should work like that. You've just used like 50% of your life's feat progression. I think
Just to
it
give
should
your
stack.
companion a single thing. Yeah, I don't think that would be
mean-
broken. That'd probably be fine.
Yeah.
It just doesn't read that way. So, a bully breed. Bully breed has a lot of skill requirements, but they're not as harsh as some other things. It gives your companion Intimidate as a class skill, first of all. It also lets them Intimidate as a move action if it strikes first with a natural attack. This means you won't be making full attacks if you decide to do this, but if you have a 1-attack wonder anyways, like, say, a wolf or a T-Rex, it'll also allow the animal companion to select Dazzling Display and Shattered Fences as feats without even a higher intelligence. It doesn't gain the ability to coerce with Intimidate, which I guess fair enough.
I think there's a case to be made that if you're using this, you can use this as a tool to assist you in coercing yourself, though. Like, you're trying to, like, you know, you're hypothetical, a mob boss is trying to get some whatever to do what they say. If they've got one of these massive, I don't know, bully bred war dogs on a leash, you know, you're probably going to be a bit more worried about what that dog might do to you if you say no.
Mithers, unleash the hounds.
Unleash the hounds.
So what you're saying is, it go grrr to aid another.
Yeah, but it's got fucking shattered defenses or does this and does that. I'd say that warrants doing something to the DC on somebody's side.
Yeah, probably.
And let's be fair, like if you do this properly, you can absolutely build up your companion where you hit on one turn you hit Intimidate, it hits with the Shatter Defenses, and then you hit with Deadly Stroke.
Yeah.
Or your ally hits with Deadly Stroke, and you just set it up as a 1 turn.
Very fucking true. Yeah. True.
And
I hate it.
the one-hit wonders that would probably take advantage of this
I mean,
might
since
have a
it
little bit of extra
only-
on that single attack.
Yeah, but since it only has skill requirements, it's not terrible. Especially if you're an animal companion build, it means you're probably one of the classes that's possibly going to invest in Handle Animal anyway.
Yeah, and most of those
So Intimidate's the
classes-
only one that you might be... But if you're building into this chain, you're going to be wanting Intimidate anyway, so...
It's like, and most of those classes are 4+ int modifier classes anyways. So they might be able to spare the skills to invest in it.
Yeah, even if you just go up to 4 to have that and then don't go any higher.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
probably actually a good feat. Spirit's Gift.
This got fucking nerfed.
So, pre-nerf, this one might have been an auto-include.
It was.
And nowadays, it's, I think it's still worth consideration, maybe. Essentially, you, the player, commune with a shaman spirit. During the next 24-hour period, you can spend a standard action to give your animal companion the shaman spirit's spirit animal ability, for 1 minute per class level. Using the life spirit as an example, that would be fast healing 1 for however many minutes. We'll say level 5 taking a 5-minute breather to heal up to 50 HP. By level 5, your animal companion probably doesn't have 50 HP.
I mean, I still prefer it being unnerved where it's just a 24-hour duration buff.
Oh, absolutely.
Funnily enough.
Weird how that works, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I prefer the pre-nerf version myself.
Look, here's the thing. I think it was unnecessary to nerf it because it got nerfed specifically because of the life spirit's passive. Like, most of the other ones are niche utility stuff and are not necessarily the best. So I think it'd be absolutely fine to just have that going. But then the life spirit had to happen.
Yeah.
I
mean,
kind
I
of
think
feel the
it's-
only way to unnerf it would be to put at the bottom, like, life spirit just can't be selected.
I mean,
I mean-
fast healing 1 is powerful, but it's not going to save an animal companion in a fight.
No, that's the thing. It's like out of combat healing, and it's like, who
No,
fucking
like,
cares?
yeah, but like, it's not really in combat that usually is the biggest drain on resources. It's usually between combat that people will do the healing. Usually.
I mean,
Like,
sure, but you've
going
got
into
everybody else to
every
heal.
Going into every fight at full HP is kinda, especially if you're doing certain things. Like imagine if just Jackal Leech just had fast healing and was constantly like, yeah, I know she didn't get targeted very much, but imagine her just being that much harder to kill. She'd
Yeah,
be
it,
on misery tier.
It definitely means that you won't be, like, nickel and diming them down with encounters or between encounters. You have to, drop the bomb on them in a fight for them to go down.
Yeah. Because all people have to do is be like, oh yeah, we're just gonna wait 10 minutes and the fast healing has ticked you up to full.
Yeah.
Alright, but consider the following. What if you've got a pocket wand of just cure light, a couple of pocket cure light wounds in your bag? And it's got 50 charges, I'll just heal it up to full for this many charges. They're not very expensive.
No,
Like-
but it's still a cost. This is not really much of a cost.
Right, but the ones of cure light wounds just spam out as an irrelevant cost. It's pocket change cost. Players tip more than they're worth. By mid-game.
Yes, but at the same time, not all DMs are ashy and going like, oh my god, you looked in the general direction of a monster, here's 40 million gold.
Hey, we only get 40 million gold from things when it's like CR30 and designed to try and kick his ass.
I don't know, I think we were always ahead on the money curve right from
Because we have
the beginning.
crafters!
We didn't have crafters in the first book and we were still getting given a lot of nice stuff. Like that +2 sword in that first fucking dungeon we went into, because it's like, ah shit, you're gonna be fighting a dragon, here's a dragon slaying sword.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. We were always ahead, so it's like, yeah. But if a DM is actually tracking the cash, which a lot of them do, very possible that eventually, like, yeah, okay, they're cheap, but they do add up.
I guess.
Yeah. This is, you pick a feat and now your creature is basically immortal unless the DM like focuses it down.
Fast healing 1 is not immortality, come on now. That's a
I'm
bit
talking about
hyperbolic.
between combat, you fully heal. If the DM doesn't focus it down in a combat and ignore the other people, there's a good chance that it's just going to get a chance to be full health again.
Mm-hmm.
And with half of the builds that you've been like making bonkers things with animal companions, I'm fairly certain it's going to survive individual encounters and then just go in full health into the next one. T-Rex always at full health. Fucking Anki always at full health.
16 mammoths always a full health.
You know.
Hey, it was part of the plan. Alright.
The pre-nerf version, auto-include. This version, I mean, it can be useful.
I mean, you can take it as a feat basically giving a heal. A once per day heal that'll probably heal your pet to full.
And if you like some of the other abilities that come from Shaman, there's a couple of others that could be situationally nice.
I mean, they're not bad, but
just unnerf it. Just unnerf it.
Yeah.
Save the headache.
Don't unnerf it. Wah wants his overpowered feet back. Don't do it.
Wow, way to call me out like that. Accurately, by the way. Fuck you.
Alright. Should we move along?
Totem
Yeah, I
Beast.
suppose.
Hey, this one has a requirement that actually matches the fucking classes.
Stalker's focus first.
That's
You're skipping one.
Oh. Oops.
So, it's emulating another class feature. Animal focus from Hunter. You can once per day give you or your animal companion an animal focus benefit for 1 minute. I include it because it technically supports animal companion. I don't think it's great.
I hate this 1 minute. I hate these 1 minute limitations. That actually killing me.
I don't think this one's worth it because, yeah, it's 1 minute of buff. Like, it's a decent buff for 1 minute. But
yeah, but
you're probably a class with spells that are doing a similar or better buff.
yeah. The way I see this is, okay, you emulate this thing to do something for 1 minute. And these animal benefits are usually like +2 strength or something.
Yeah.
At what point do you go, well, you know, power attack is also a feat and that lasts forever?
Yeah.
And I hate
Yeah.
I mean, let's be fair though. If you're comparing these to the staples, there's a list of staple feats that your build is just going to have, and there's no room for any of this stuff unless you're really trying to do something weird, like.
So
I mean,
yeah.
You don't like
there's a lot of feats. There's a lot of feats we use that aren't staples though. Like we collectively decided Dimensional Dervish is fucking hilarious. I wouldn't say that's a staple with conduit feats, but
to be
they've
fair,
at least.
Dimensional Dervish got a hell of a lot better thanks to a homebrew style chain that was given to your character that we were allowed to use on my character. Like, only having it 3 times per day for the amount of feats you're spending on the average fighter is kinda hard to justify.
I agree. Well, my point is, if you're looking at a feat slot, you've got to compare it with its contemporaries that you're already considering and go, is it at least considered as a side grade or some utility you can slot in? When you look at stuff like this, you go, it's just not worth it.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Alright, so you don't like Stalker's Focus, but you might actually like Totem Beast.
Maybe.
Totem Beast is similar. Totem Beast is similar, but you don't get to choose from any of them. You have to choose one focus when you take the feat. And it scales the benefit off the companion hit dice, not the PCs. Which means it will scale more slowly, but in the long run it can still meet its potential, like, if the levels go far enough. And it doesn't go away. It just sticks to the animal companion once you have it. They get a permanent buff from the Totem Beast.
Oh, that's the thing. That's Stalker's Focus, but better.
And
yeah, you don't.
It scales with the stat that actually matters to your class.
Yeah.
You know, something's telling me this particular feat was just written, and someone went, "Yeah, that feat sucks. I'm going to do it again, but something anyone might want to take." And then they made this, and it's like, yeah, way better.
I mean, yeah, you're looking at a scaling feat that ranges from being a mono stat belt to like a skill check boost to more speed, or even like you could get evasion and improved evasion from like the rogue class features.
You could. It's very useful.
Which, I mean, most animal companions I think get evasion naturally, but if you have an archetype,
I'm gonna say a lot of archetypes
might be worth
also get rid
consideration.
of that.
Yeah.
So, No, this is good. This is DLC Stalker's Focus.
Yep.
DLC Stalker's Focus.
It's the horse
Nice.
armor of Stalker's Focus.
Okay, okay.
I'm just traumatizing generation.
You traumatized me. Anyways, okay, pack flanking. So this one's definitely a hunter feat. Since like other animal companion users will they'll have to find some hoops to benefit from it. But it allows for both you and your companion to flank if you both have the feat while being adjacent to each other.
Mm-hmm.
If you can swing it, it's pretty good.
I mean, turning your wall of body into flanking is something. Well, you and your animal companion are often going to be stood side by side more often than you are stood opposite each other in a flanking position, especially if you're a hunter.
True.
I mean, hell, even I've played melee focused juries that have ended up with reach weapons and basically just formed the fucking wall and let my animal companion do what it's going to do under the blanket of a reach weapon.
Yeah. It does require combat expertise in Int 13, but oh well.
I think you mean that.
It's worth it
I think
for
you
those
mean
who
it
can have
requires dirty fighting.
Yeah.
Oof.
I think you mean it requires exactly 1 feat to qualify for a lot of other feats.
Alright. So, Celestial Servant. Celestial Servant calls for you to be an Aasimar. It grants your companion the Celestial Template. It turns it into a magical beast. It is still treated as an animal when it is convenient for you. So, not bad if you're an Aasimar.
Wait, does that mean its intelligence immediately goes up to 3?
No. This is the Celestial Template, so it's like the simple template, but it's still also a lot of nice little buffs.
Animal companion could have smite.
Yes, your animal companion gains the ability to smite.
Which we have learned that on something like a Rex is quite funny.
Oh, yeah. Yeah? Who doesn't love some hit die scaling bonk?
Hell yeah.
Alright, so, Hunt Master is also just a feat. So, Hunt Master, you pick one creature from the animal types listed, which is a bird, dog, small cat, horse. If you have Divine Bond or Mount, it's automatically a horse. And you get a boost to handle animal and K-Nature when it involves that type of creature. And your level is considered one higher for determining the abilities of that type of creature.
So, quick question.
Yes.
Would you also let it apply to Seahorse?
What's the subtypes on a seahorse? Is it horse aquatic?
You know.
I don't think a seahorse is horse aquatic.
Well, Des is right. What if you're an aquatic campaign water wet paladin with Divine Bond seahorse?
Oh no.
Would you allow this to apply to the seahorse?
You know what? If you're going to spend a feat on this and ask for it to apply to the seahorse, I would allow it because you're taking a not very good feat for that.
On a not very good seahorse.
On a not very good seahorse.
Oh hell yeah, we are plumbing the depths of mediocrity right now.
Yes.
If you're gonna do something that mediocre, I would probably just allow it.
You need all the help you can get, buddy. Here you go.
Alright, let's talk about an actually good feat, I think. So, Beast Rider. So, Beast Rider calls for you to be an orc or a half-orc. But what it does, it allows you to select from the list of elephant, pteranodon, rhino, steg, trike. One of these is just added to your list of possible animal companions or mounts. So, effectively great for cavaliers or rangers. And if you use a creature of that type, which you're probably going to because you're spending a feat to get access to it, you get a +2 effective druid level. Of course, to a maximum of your character level. And if the creature is large enough to ride, which most of these are, they automatically gain combat training general purpose just as a trick package for free.
Hmm.
Okay, it says if the creature is large enough to ride, not the creature is large enough to ride.
Yes. If you can ride it, potentially, free combat training general purpose, free.
Well, that's probably there just to stipulate in case you're a large. Well, you're not a large creature, you're a fucking orc or a half-orc.
Yes.
And all of those are...
Some
Oh, I
start
suppose
medium,
that's applying
but
to other sources in the rest of the list. Not those, because all of those are large enough to ride.
well, some of them start off like medium, become large.
Right, but you need to be
But-
character level 7, therefore it's
Yeah.
probably about to evolve.
It's gonna be large.
Okay.
So yeah, I think this is a good feat. It supports Cavalier and Ranger very nicely because it just adds to the list, and it would technically support other classes that don't have a complete list as well. And some of
Yeah.
these are actually pretty good options.
Yep.
Like Pteranodon for Cavalier is just freaking hilarious as a conceptual idea. Because, you know, normally they make it hard for Cavaliers to have flying mounts. Look, free flying mount. No
Just
strings
large.
attached.
And decentish stats.
Yes.
It's not a quetz, but hey, what is?
It's not a quetz. So I think that feat's pretty good.
I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, definitely not bad.
So,
I mean, if I was an orc cavalier or something, I would definitely want one of those over whatever the fuck it wants me to have.
over what comes standard? Yeah, easily.
Yeah.
Hey, what happened to your horse? Looks at new elephant.
It got bigger.
It got a little long in the face.
He knows
Alright.
what you're up to.
Concern. Alright,
Nose.
alright.
Trunk. Knows what you're up to.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I thought it
Horrible.
was funny. Fuck you.
Horrible.
Man, I'm dad jokey right now. Damn.
A little bit. Alright, alright. So let's get to the, I'm not gonna say elephant in the room.
The vampire in the room.
Vampiric Companion. So, this one requires you to be non-good, and to be either a Dampier or a Vampire, which means, yeah, Dampiers can benefit from this. Your Animal Companion becomes undead. It gains Fast Healing 5. Already, we're looking pretty good. It gains any Dampier or Vampire weaknesses that you happen to have. And if you are a Vampire type, it gains this additional benefit that lets it basically just retreat with you if you get your ass kicked. This one could actually be taken player characters actually relatively easy as long as they're playing a Dampier. And Fast Healing 5 is probably absolutely worthwhile to you. Because Fast Healing 5 is good.
I would say the only downside, the primary downside is if the animal companion hits 0, it's destroyed. It just dusts.
Yeah. Just get a new one.
Which, I mean, I suppose if you are an evil vampire-y Dampier thing, then yeah, I suppose you don't give a fuck. It's mindless anyway.
I mean, it's not
Yeah.
mindless, it just becomes undead.
Okay,
It's more of a vampire than a zombie.
true. I mean, you still probably don't care. It's like, what am I going to do? I'm going to go bite this wolf. I need a new one. Converts.
Right?
Spawns that motherfucker.
It does require you to be level 10 in order to reach this. Which, okay, you're getting like Fast Healing 5 on an Animal Companion. As we discussed earlier, Fast Healing 1's pretty decent to just have as an auto-include. And Fast Healing 5 is probably enough to actually help keep it alive during a fight if it gets targeted.
Yeah.
Now,
So, It also stipulates that you can only apply it to one animal companion or familiar at a time, which is fair
Yeah.
enough. So I have a question here. Wait. Okay, it doesn't actually get a vampiric bite on the animal companion.
No, this one doesn't give it a lot of special abilities. The special ability this gives it is have a bunch of fast healing applied.
And mist with you, theoretically.
Yeah. And theoretically missed with you.
Cool.
It actually gets a little bit extra defenses if you happen to be a vampire, not a Dampier.
This is definitely one of those feats. It's a situation where I see you probably might take this, but then you will take Evolved Companion, and then you might take Spirit's Boon. You just start, the elemental companions.
Yeah,
You
okay.
just start stacking templates for features.
Lamau.
I mean, it works.
Yeah. So, now to address this other one that's, yes, it's a second feat that seems almost identical. And, these feats kind of actually stack. This one does require you to be a vampire, so no Dampier. The animal companion list by default is limited and locked to specific levels. For what you can make vampiric. Though more creatures can be added with discretion to that list. The creature counts against the total number of undead that a vampire can have enslaved. And it gains a slew of abilities, actually.
It's augmented undead.
Yeah.
Natural armor. It gains blood drain. There it is. It gains
Energy
energy
drain.
drain.
It gains
Dominate.
dominate.
Resistances.
Yeah.
Bit more fast healing. That probably doesn't stack.
It won't stack. It'll take better. You get shadow resistance,
the stat boost
shadow
is
list,
nice.
vampire weaknesses, extra stats.
The stat boost is nice, but what's an animal companion doing with charisma +4? Unless it's a brick shatter defenses thing.
Well, it's an undead, so charisma +4 equals its health. No.
Yeah.
Oh right. No.
Keep in
right.
mind, undead scale
know-
off charisma, not constitution.
You know what this is screaming? Vampire anti-paladin with that charisma of 18.
Fucking true. On his vampire horse.
Lol.
I do
So-
like that they put the charisma of 18 like it's a huge prerequisite, but when you're like a vampire or any type of undead, you're trying to pump that up anyway because that's your new
Yeah.
con score.
Let's not forget. Oh, you happen to be a vampire? Well, that's a free +4 to charisma.
Yeah.
Pretty easy to make that on most vampires.
Absolutely.
I mean, considering the Source's rival guide, this absolutely seems like it's meant to create counter PCs, and it's not for players. Because
Yeah.
you don't often get a player that counts as a full vampire unless there's something for Dampier that does that.
I can't think of something for Dampier that does that. It's pretty hard to get a PC to count as a full vampire without, losing control of the PC.
Yeah.
Fucking Ethelred. Alright, guys, I'm gonna curse myself. Why? I'm gonna curse myself to count as a full vampire. It'll be permanent in 24 hours. I have a feat to take.
Okay.
Hey, why? Are you out in the sun today? Yeah, why? You've got one round to not die.
You're starting to sizzle, buddy.
Anybody
Wait,
smelling
those-
cooked goat?
I
Roast
would love
lamb
I would,
chops.
I would love a goat curry right now. Damn.
Some roast Lego lamb.
Lego lamb. But is it minted?
You know.
Is it
God damn
minted
it.
lamb?
But yeah, this feat, if you're playing a vampire, very good. And if you have a vampire that's going to be going against the party, also very good.
Yeah.
Great DM tool.
I mean, can you imagine having a vampiric wolf or something with a trip?
That sounds. It's pretty rude.
When you
Yeah.
get bit by a vampire bat, but it's actually a vampire bat.
Well, I was
Oh,
thinking
man.
more like players tend to split up quite a lot and fuck around. So when one of the weak party members has made the unwise decision to go on a solo adventure, wolf pops out, trip, blood drain, just leaves them for dead.
I mean,
Nom, 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 nom,
imagine
nom, nom.
convincing someone to add T-Rex to this list. Bite, grapple, blood drain.
Vampire dinosaurs. I just think vampire dinosaurs are cool. Because I'm actually
It's feeling
10.
kinda it's all here.
Oh, it does feel a bit excellent, doesn't it?
Anyways, Corpse Companion. Very similar in concept, except instead of vampire, you're a much worse undead. You're a ghoul. And what it does, your pet becomes undead, and their charisma score is set to 12. Which, for a lot of animal companions, is still an upgrade for, like, charisma, but also still kind of squishy for your health pool.
Yeah, that's gonna really kill their. I mean, most companions that you take. I don't know, maybe you've got one of those companions that's got an absolutely tanked for no goddamn reason con score. And this might actually be a net benefit.
You might... You could... Yeah, like a turtle. Or-
A ghoul turtle, huh?
Or several
Gurtle.
of the, or several of the birds. The big birds.
We're rolling back to this point now where it just sounds like we're discussing One Piece characters.
Maybe. The Scaveling Companion.
It is on Corpse Companion. It is definitely reminding me. I think it's Heroes of Horror from 3.5, where there was the option for player characters to be. There was ghouls because they retained their intelligence to some degree. There was mummy lords, skeleton somethings, maybe like knights. I don't know. But there was also the morgue. And a lot of at the time, I was quite young, but I was still thinking, who the fuck would let their players be a morgue? They're ghouls, but worse. You know, with paralytic extendo grapple tongue.
I don't think a sane person would want to deal with a morgue player character.
No.
That said, Ghoul
Right.
is more achievable. Considering,
Absolutely.
like, if you worship ya boy, the demon lord of ghouls, one of
Kabiri.
his boons just turns you into a fucking ghoul when you die.
That's true. It's his third tier one, isn't it? For Evangelist?
Yes.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's Evangelist, but it's one of them.
it's one of them.
So, actually achievable. Without losing your character. Scaveling Companion. So this one asks you to be an Erdifon.
The fuck's an Edifon?
I think those are deep gnomes.
No,
I could
that's
be wrong. True, that's Zverfnif.
The unpronounceable gnome.
The Smurfs. Okay, then I
what?
don't remember what an Erdifon is then, unfortunately.
Right. The Erdifon is a warlike, clear-skinned bloodsucker that live in the Darklands,
Okay.
called Orvian vampires.
Oh,
They are
okay.
the offsprings of the daemons of Abaddon.
Kinky.
So they're neutral evil, outsiders, not actually vampires,
No.
but they're just they're BDSM.
So they're like
vampires.
Drow.
Kinda, except they've mummified themselves in belts like a Final Fantasy protagonist.
Of course they did. Alright, well, Scaveling Companion requires you to be one of those. And it gives you the right to take a Scaveling Bat, which actually is not a bad companion. It has actually respectable base stats, a very dangerous bite, and AoE stun usable once per day.
How the fuck do you get this as a player character race?
I don't know. It might actually be on that list. That list of races is long.
Nope. It's just a monster listing.
Alright.
2010.
DM tool, unless you can convince your DM to let you play one. Horsemaster. So, Horsemaster is a cavalier feat.
It is the linchpin of many stupid things you could do.
It's kind of redundant for Cavalier itself if you plan to go all in on Cavalier, but if you're multi-classing, it allows you to essentially permanently ignore your Cavalier class, like from just the moment you take it, because it will just set your horse just to be your level. Your full class is determined for your druid level for the powers and abilities of said mount. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which is where you go into Horse Master, Cavalier, Mammoth Rider, multiple horses. What's he got, like Herd Lord or Horse Lord or something?
Quay?
16 mammoths at full level.
Yeah.
Yeah, with this.
Yeah, the Pack Druid, the Mammoth Rider, the maybe level of Hunter, some Barbarian to make them all rage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing that's really funny, but you're never playing it because good luck fitting all those things into a dungeon.
Yeah. Hilarious concept, unplayable. We'll talk about it sometime in detail. So,
Actually,
yeah.
I bet if someone decides they're going to run a homebrew campaign where you're on open plains and you're using this herd of mammoths to basically pull a fucking set city wagon around that you've set up, I can see it existing in certain campaigns. Is that just a concept that lives in my brain? Someone else must have had it.
I'd have never thought of having a city pulled by your army of giant mammoths, but that actually is kind of metal.
I mean, it's just like your party wagon, but bigger, or the caravan from Path of Exile 2, pulled by zombies.
That's actually that's kind of rad. I'm gonna have to put a pin in that one. You know, maybe if I don't use it as a player character, I'll use it as an NPC. He'll be probably the weakest king in the kingdom, but
it'll be fun.
Yeah, he doesn't need to be strong to be fun.
Just needs to be loud and drinks a lot.
Favorite animal focus. So, kind of another hunter feat. So, it interacts with the animal focus. It boosts one type of bonus by a step if applied to your animal companion. And beyond the level cap, it also just extends it an additional step.
Ooh! Ooh! I like this feat.
Yes.
Ooh! Shit, I'm returning to monkey again.
Yes.
I like. It's good. Man, hunters are so good. Such a good class.
You can take the feat multiple times to have it apply to a new animal focus. But yeah. Kind of a cool feat.
That might be worth doing, because when you get to higher levels, you can have multiple of these on the animal companion, and boosting them up to another step is just like, it's just so much free power.
Yes. Imagine basically having a just have a +8 3-stat belt on your animal companion just because you have 3 feats.
I mean, if you can fit it in, yeah. Kinda.
If you can fit that in, that's kind of funny.
Stat stick, yo.
Oh wait, shared query.
Query.
So this is ranger tech. For animal companions, it allows your animal companion to just benefit fully from your query. And there's a smaller boost here to allies that are sharing your favorite enemy bonuses. But we'll probably go into depth with that when we actually talk about rangers. For intents and purposes, what matters here is animal companions to benefit from the quarry.
Why does it... I bet you could swing this on a Slayer, because they also have quarry. It functions completely different. I bet there's an archetype that lets you have it.
If there's an archetype that gives you Hunter's Bond, then it can probably function.
Because it is not the same quarry, it functions very differently. But having your animal companion just go nuts and start auto-critting.
I mean, dem buffs though. Sable Company Marine.
The fuck is this? Let's have a look.
So, this is also ranger support, and it lets you have a Hippogriff companion.
Okay. Good.
You get a boost to ride it, and you give it a boost to versus fear.
Minimum level 6.
Yep.
Okay.
There's also a I know there's also an archetype that is a stable company marine that also gives you a Hippogriff companion. These probably stack together nicely in that case.
What gives
But
you 2?
yeah. Is it good? I mean, you're playing a ranger, so maybe not. Though,
Well, you're playing a ranger, but you do now have a flying mount. And I know hippogriffs aren't exactly pushovers. Hippogriffs have got claws on the front, right? They've got lion, eagle head, lion front, horseback. Is that a griffin?
Hippogriff is the horseback, so
Okay.
I think you're right.
Can't tell if I'm mixing up Harry Potter and mythology.
Right?
Dude, pop culture just osmoses into your brain and mingles with everything.
It does.
I don't hate this, especially because it starts fixing a lot of problems Ranger has with its kind of garbage selection, especially in terms
Yeah.
of flyers. Because I think a Ranger on a relatively powerful flying mount can work better than what you expect with a standard Ranger. You're a bit safer, you've got a height advantage, so you're still getting some bonuses for being having a height advantage shooting down.
Yeah, that's at least a +1 at the very minimum.
Yeah, so I think this goes quite a long way to fixing a lot of Rangers' problems. It just does pigeonhole you into being a mobile turret.
I mean,
But
being a
who the
mobile
fuck
turret
goes melee
isn't
ranger?
terrible.
Who goes melee ranger anyway? Except me.
No comments!
What? Hunters and slayers exist! Fuck.
So,
Anyway, I like this.
here's a feat that I like. Genie Touched Mount. It allows you to upgrade your horse to one that's just touched by genies. You pick a breed of horse, and it gains additional abilities and resistance based on level.
I think there's laws against that.
I don't think genies care, to be honest.
Fair. It's just, God, it's making me think of, you know, Path of Exile, where you had the God Touch monsters, and communally we call them God Molested. Yeah, my brain just went, genie molested mount, I see.
So, we can talk about this one now, or we could wait for us to discuss it further when we add them to the tiers. But I like it. I think it's a pretty good feat. It supports the horse.
I mean, the horses do need some support. So, okay. Oh, there's a lot of things here to this.
Yes. There is quite a bit here.
Oh. So these are basically subspecies of horse that have been bred by genie kind, I guess?
Something like that. Something like that.
Well, this the Istahek. It's the Stoic Istahek, dark grey or black, and these things. So it's clearly a subspecies of horse. You don't transform your horse into it. It starts off like that, right?
I personally prefer to evolve a horse when you take it, but in a sense, yeah, you could just replace.
Well, it says it here. You can take a genie touch creature as an animal companion, so they were bred to be like this. They're a special breed of genie horse.
Yeah.
But I guess we've had this conversation. Upgrading it is generally narratively better.
Yes.
If you're attached to it, anyway. Which
you
should be. But...
Exactly. And besides, wouldn't you really just like to see it just shed its mane, shed its like fur, and suddenly it's like, ah yes, it actually has a darker coat beneath.
You said shed its mane. Do you mean like its skin tears off and it pupates?
Exactly. Absolutely. Sure. We'll go with that.
I'm gonna go and look at Airwalker. Is this flying horse tag? That's waterborne.
I mean, Airwalker is once per day airwalk. So, ish?
Man, that thundering hooves, the horse just makes a trip attempt in a 30-foot radius. No AOO.
Yeah, the Easter Heck's pretty cool. I think between these, the Easter Heck's probably statistically the best. But I think the Messiah is the coolest. And, I mean, the Tuanu kind of suffers from It's water flavored.
What level can you take this at? Level 1.
Mm-hmm.
It's a scaling feat as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I like this feat as well. It actually fixes a lot of issues the Cavalier might have with the horse.
Anything that takes a horse can take this. And anything that can take a companion. Horse is on that list pretty much.
Okay.
And this is part of the reason why I like the horse. And why I think it's like a little bit better than what we give it shit for. Because horse gives you access to this.
I mean, I'm sure. Okay, sure. Horse gives you access to things, but it's not as cool as a dinosaur.
It is probably not as cool as a dinosaur, no.
What are you saying, Des?
I was gonna say, like, horse is kind of the generic vanilla choice that you can take. Like, even when people think of fantasy, they don't think of horse as much as they even think of just, like, someone riding a fucking wolf into combat.
So, hey, Ashley, I have a question for you.
I might have an answer for you.
Right, so some of the megafauna are the ancestors of horses. Realistically, if you could trace the evolutionary lineage of horseback to one of those, could I put that on one of them?
I'm just gonna say that I feel like most of the ancestors of horses are in fact worse than just taking a horse.
Genie touched Parasa, though.
That would be pretty fucking funny. That would be really funny and tempting. I'll think about it.
We have absolutely not discussed this feat at all. Are we doing it now or are we going to save it?
I mean, that depends. Do you guys want to talk about it now, or do you guys want to move on?
Des, what do you want to do?
I mean, my vote is for move on. We've still got a bit more to get through, and
we'll
this
be
could
coming
get
back
its
to
own
this
video.
anyways. Yeah. This is
I
basically getting
agree.
its own video in the future, if we don't talk about it now.
We'll do that then.
Alright. So,
We kick the can down the road with that.
Ooze Companion. We've talked about this before. It adds oozes to the list of things to take, and they unlock at specific levels. If they're allowed to scale off Animal Companion buffs, they're good. If not, they get outscaled. They can be quirky and odd companions. And it's also a feat that, because it's coming from somewhere between 3.5 and Pathfinder, because it was released by Paizo in early books that were still 3.5 coded, it might also just get a hard node.
I have a question here for you, though. Why wouldn't it scale with a companion? Because it just adds them to the companion list.
Mostly because they are just the base creature. There isn't a companion entry for them.
Well, it says here, add the following oozes to your list of possible animal companions. So you take it as a companion, surely you would apply the animal companion table to it.
That is logistically how I also think it would work.
Hear me? Fucking hell. Right, yeah, I don't think there's any question to how it works. I think that's just how it's supposed to work. It is just on your list of possible companions. Yeah. Okay. I think we've had a conversation about this. Like, some of the oozes are kind of fucking slow, and like the gelatinous cube is prohibitively slow. But like the ochre jelly have got some case uses where they can just eat through a wall or a metal door or something. It's like, oh no, the door's locked, and your ooze just goes over and digests it. It's like, I think we're fine.
We'll digest most doors that aren't made out of stone.
I mean, grey ooze, ochre jelly, and black pudding kind of fill the trifecta of being able to eat stone, eat wood, and eat metal, right?
I don't recall any of them eating stone.
Alright. I know there's one, but there's also a lot of oozes.
Yeah. I don't remember any
Vermin.
eating stone.
Vermin companion. Wasn't this tied to having like a companion
Vermin heart.
Magic item? Yeah.
It's tied to Vermin heart. So, like Goose Companion, this is also 3.5 throwback that we used somewhere by Paizo. This one adds quite a list. Some of these creatures don't even have stats in Pathfinder, so a quick visit to 3.5 is in order. And as base creatures, their stat lines are fine. If they get supported by the Animal Command chart, of course. If not, they're not better, they may in fact be worse. That said, you can ride the line all the way up to Monster Spider, which will have as many hit dice as a higher level Animal Companion in that case. Though that is if your DM lets you have it to begin with.
I mean, so we're looking at this. This breaks the mold of standard animal companion sizes, and you're actually hitting the huge creatures without shenanigans.
And Gargantuan Monster Spider at the very top end there.
So, once you get up to huge and gargantuan, don't the size bonuses start really kicking in to scale them? And then you've got the companion chart. Like, this is... I mean, hell, even the big one, when it comes to the scorpions, you're kind of turbo scaling their poisons as well beyond what you would expect for a companion. Some of them got nasty poison.
That's what you'd think, but they actually still have very low base constitutions for their creature types. Or probably because of their creature types. So, like, the huge giant scorpion actually only has a constitution of 16. The gargantuan spider only has a constitution of 14.
Well, let's have a look at the scorpion. It's got 16 con, which is quite rare as far as animal companions go for whatever fucking reason. Then you've got the table, which will boost their strength and con. And
that is the creature's stat block. Well, that's not... That's taking the chart into account.
Oh, that's taking it into account for that level?
Yeah.
Damn!
The companion chart also doesn't boost constitution at all. It just boosts the strength and dexterity. The gargantuan spider, for example, has a set 24 strength, so it's actually on par with some of the higher tier stat sticks. Not the highest tier stat sticks, but like it's above the 22 strength average that we saw a lot of for the stat sticks.
I'm legitimately concerned that huge to gargantuan creatures have only got have got sub 20 con.
I think it's because they're building on the baseline of being a spider or a scorpion, because bugs aren't very strong.
I guess. Well, I was excited. I might still be. This might still be funny.
I mean, it is a way to get huge and even gargantuan companions.
I mean, that in itself is rare.
Yeah, that is very rare. It's also very heavy on the poison, which you might not be surprised to hear at all.
Not in the least. It's vermin. That tends to be what vermin do.
A Curious Companion. So, Curious Companion, it's somewhat a vermin companion, but it doesn't have tax feat, and it pulls from a list of vermin or plants that Paizo created for the game.
Okay. You can select or plant companion or vermin companion. Well, plant companions might not be the worst thing.
I mean, plant companions
they tend to have a lot less drawbacks than other things.
You're looking at like a pile of built-in immunities. You're looking at probably likely poisons and grabs.
Sometimes they've got range attacks like the Archervines. I think this, depending on what the list is, could be really good. Because there are some scary plants.
Well, hey, that list is an upcoming video. Look forward to it, I guess. Or don't. Up to you. So, Bee Speaker. So, Bee Speaker, like Curious Companion, this adds a list of magical beasts that can serve as your animal companion. You can pick it up at level 7. In order to fully unlock the companion, their abilities, there's an additional feat here, Bee Speaker Mastery, that lets you just have the Mastery ability. So, that's probably a bit of a drawback, because it's like one thing to take 1 feat for a list or 2, taking 2 feats to fully benefit from your list.
I mean, it seems to be this is set up to be companion. Just Bee Speaker unlocks a list, and then Mastery is just basically improved familiar, but for that.
You could look at it that way.
Well, I am looking at it that way because magical beasts tend to have a lot more functionality built into them than the standard animal,
They do.
which is essentially what you get with improved familiar. So you've got Beast Speaker, which is effectively improved familiar, and then apparently there's improved familiar with mastery.
Yeah. Beast Speaker, yeah, expand your list, lets you take the magical beasts. Mastery unlocks their special abilities. So until you have mastery, it's just a stat line. Which is what most companions are, but
It could be worth it. It's like with
it depends when we cover that list.
Looks like
A monstrous companion.
now this thing.
So monstrous companion allows you to take a magical beast as a cohort, including letting it have class levels, if the effective cohort level is distant enough from the player character's level. This will replace your animal companion, and this would be good if it were balanced sensibly. So let's grab the example here, the hippocampus. So the hippocampus, according to this chart down here, is effectively a 5th level cohort. Which means you need to be level 8 according to this chart to take it. And it's a 2-hit dice creature. You know what else is a 2-hit dice creature? Your level 1 animal companion. If this was ruled in a sane manner, this could be a good feat. As it is now, it's pretty fucking tragic.
We had a look at this with the... Was it Vile Leadership or Monstrous Leadership or something with the Succubus requiring you to be like level 17? Or the Valkyrie or whatever it was, despite it not remotely being able to stand up to content at that level.
Yes. We've had that problem.
So this... Why is it cohort level 5? What's the calculation?
I don't know. It's not a sensible calculation. We're talking about a 2-hit dice creature that isn't particularly well statted, and has a drawback built into its creature stat block, with no real upside.
Yeah, I feel like the cohort level should just be their hit dice.
I agree.
And then it just works.
Because
it's at least appropriate for when you take it.
If it was, because even if it was a like cohort level 2 with 3 barbarian levels to reach the effective cohort of 5, and then tying to the effective druid level of 8, I mean, at that point, it'd still be worse than just taking an animal companion. It'd at least have class features though, and abilities I could use. And like, this chart does not scale well either. You start effective druid level 7 for a 4 cohort. Now, we've talked about the 2 hit dice that was actually bad, that was 5, so I don't even want to think about what a cohort level 4 would look like. And we end at the top. If you make it to level 20, you have an effective cohort level of 12.
Oh, wow.
And
Why?
you know, this also counts as leadership, and you cannot have both it and leadership. A leadership does this feat's job better than it does, and that's kind of also really funny.
You know, if you really want one of these things as your companion, my suggestion, take normal leadership, make your leadership cohort a summoner, and have them just summon these things. It'll just get the job done better.
That's true.
And you'll get more of them.
Yeah. Well...
But then again, I'm like... They have always been kind of scared of player power. So I'm not even surprised that these are as terrible as they are. It's like all of the people that are like, I want monsters as my ally. Okay, here's a way to have a monster as your ally. They suck, yeah, but shut up about it because now it's a rule. So you're good. Go away.
When was this feat?
Oh, I don't even remember that one. I feel
Because
like
there was
it
a period.
2014 though.
No, 2014 is... It was 2015. 2015 was when all the funny stuff was coming out. Why is this looking like post-2018 content?
I don't know. It is kind of disappointing regardless. Because this could have been pretty good.
It needs tweaking. Like, a DM looking at this, who understands what's going on, and is generally experienced, can look at this and go, this is all fucking nonsense, and fix it.
I mean, judging by the fact that you were saying, like, you gotta be, like, 18th level to have the equivalent of a succubus, like, an anti-paladin could just take that as their demonic cohort at, I think, at, like, level 11.
Roughly, yeah.
Yeah, which a succubus will actually be kind of useful at that point. Sure, it ain't gonna be doing your front line work for you, but... typically your cohorts aren't supposed to be doing that.
The cohorts are not supposed to be doing that, but it suffers the same problem as this. There is something about them that Paizo have decided is just highly overvalued and an arbitrary number slapped on them, because there's no rhyme or reason to what these calculations actually mean. If you go look at what their stat blocks are, it's going to be like, oh, it has this supernatural ability. Put 5 more levels on that requirement.
Yeah.
The hippocampus didn't even have that much. It doesn't even have that much.
Yeah, well, I was talking about the succubi, but
Yeah, sure.
even
Yeah,
worse.
that would make
even
sense.
even fucking worse.
Yeah.
So yeah, DMs, look at this, then fix it. If a player brings it up, if a player doesn't bring it up, then pretend it's not there.
Yeah,
Give it
yeah.
free fucking vampire companion. There we go. Now it can actually live.
Shh, I don't think
Living
that would
death?
save it either.
I said it would live. I didn't say it would live a happy life.
We live in a society.
Alright. So, yeah, I think we've torn this one up enough. Monstrous Mount. Alrighty. So, this is calling for specific mount features to be taken. And, yeah, you can trade your companion for a magical beast. It's a select list. You can scroll down. Griffin, Hippocampus, Hippogriff, Warg. These are not necessarily the same ones from the previous Bee Speaker feat, but if you notice, there's this mastery word showing up again, so it's another one of those where there's a monstrous mount mastery feat to unlock it fully. They were also kind of unkind with flying mounts because...
Yeah, the Hippogriff can carry a rider while flying, but reduces its flight speed to half while doing so. So that's assuming that a Hippogriff, as a large creature at base, cannot carry you. Yeah,
no, it can't carry you until...
flying, just cannot.
Yeah, it can't carry you until level 7. I mean, at least when it can finally carry you, it'll have its 100-foot fly speed, so it's still going to carry you at 50 feet.
Yes. Yeah, they really don't like you. They really don't want you flying.
Yeah.
You know what's hilarious? The flying turtle would carry you faster.
That's pretty sad.
No feats required.
True.
Rides flying turtle and races hippogriff, wins.
That is fucking sad.
Alright, we're sending Buckbeak to the glue factory.
Oh,
You deserve better.
I've got a new brand of glue coming out. It's not Gorilla Glue, it's Griffin Glue.
Okay,
Even your fucking griffin. Oh man, it's even worse because it's even slower.
Yeah.
Paizo, why do you hate non-standard fucking companions?
You want to do those cool things you see in all of the fantasy novels? Well, then either your DM has to homebrew or fuck you.
I mean, there's absolutely a case where a leadership, again, probably a better version of this.
I mean, considering leadership has options for having magical beasts with just standard. Well, no, we've had this. We've just talked about this, where non-standard ones get shafted as well for being too good. We just don't want it to happen.
But a lot of them don't have reasonable or easy to comprehend conversions to whatever the hell they're trying to scale them to. So you can probably argue most of them will just be hit die scaled, like reasonably.
Yeah.
In any case, I guess we can move right on along. I think we've discussed this one. The companion figurine.
Yeah.
So, do you like Dritz? Do you really like Dritz? Do you like his Displacer Beast figurine companion? Well, this feat's basically that.
Do you keep calling him Dritz? Dritz.
And it's a panther. It's not even a Displacer Beast. It's less cool than that.
Oh well,
No,
that was much less cool.
I thought, didn't he have a Displacer Beast cloak? Was his thing?
I think his cloak was made out of a Displacer Beast that he killed in the Underdark.
It's a cloak of displacement.
Yeah, fair enough. Alright, well, this feat allows you to bond with a figurine for your animal companion.
Oh man, it's that conversation about the 3 angry fucking goats.
You never have to worry about it truly dying. And there's a list here to go down, but it might not be exhaustive if that DM is feeling creative. Look, this very first thing, you need Vermin Heart. but you can get a flying horse. And at 8th level, you get a 120-foot fly speed on it, which is better than what some of these previous feats have offered. Golden Lions, Ivory Goat, which has a lot of variants depending on which one's your companion. Elephant. Serpentine Owl, kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's always a bird animal companion or an owl familiar. And it can take its giant form 3 times before it loses that ability forever, but it'll still at least function as a bird.
I don't understand why that limitation is there. Because if it's
Oh, that's
replacing a
because-
companion...
That's because that item can only be used 3 times normally. So normally you summon it 3 times in its giant owl form, and then it becomes non-magical and useless.
See,
This
this
lets it
is...
stay as at least a bird.
This is when your crafter goes, yo, I'm going to pour some money into this and switch that to a 3 per day limitation for some money. And you just slam it upgrade into the fucking thing.
Probably expensive, but probably also worthwhile.
I mean, if it's literally an animal companion replacement, it's ideally going to be sticking with you from go to finish, so yes.
And as we've discussed, bird animal companion isn't very good by itself.
The giant owl was the best one, and this only allows you to use it 3 times in its fucking lifespan.
Yeah.
So, might need some money throwing in. Or the DM not screw you.
Mhm.
Because we're sort of at this point of a video where it's like, this is bad, 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 bad. It can be tweaked, and then it's good and doesn't feel
Like-
bad.
This is funny and this is flavorful, but like if you're attempting to use it in game for most of the things you typically use an animal companion for, probably not worth without tweaking.
Probably so. Yeah.
I think that's the moral of the story for the past 20 minutes.
I mean, I kind of think that as a wizard, having the silver raven one could be funny.
I mean, sure, a familiar is performing a different role. So yeah.
True. And hey, it still gives you a +3 bonus on appraise checks for a wizard and whatnot.
Yay!
Yay!
Woo!
But yeah, that's companion
Hey.
figurine.
Takes it alongside skill focus in order to maximize that appraise. Becomes best jeweler in the land.
I mean,
Hello, Trinian.
yeah, I
Profit.
suppose. Yeah, yeah. Hey, it worked for
Funnily
Trinian.
enough, it did. Yeah, he cut his own gems.
Yeah.
Did the
Also-
Dwarf Fortress thing of masterworking them.
If you add things to this list, you could probably have a lot of fun with it.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
sure.
I love the fact that Dritz is the most famous user of this basic concept, and his option isn't even on there.
Oh yeah, no
Just
panther.
can't have a panther.
Okay, you've got to understand that the writers and owners of these literal OCs in Forgotten Realms are just better than anything you're going to be allowed as the rules allow.
Yeah.
When it's literally the creators of the game's OCs, yeah.
All right.
I mean, hell, there was that part in Sojourn where he convinces a black dragon he is a black dragon because they have the same fucking colored eyes.
So next up, we have style feats. We have a Beast Master Style.
I like this one. It doesn't start good, but it gets good.
So, like, first off here, if you're adjacent to your companion when attack targets it, you can handle animals immediate action. If your handle animal is higher than the attack roll, attack is negated. You can't use it if mounted.
It's basically mounted combat, but unmounted.
Yes.
It's unmounted combat, in fact.
Yes. Beastmaster Salvation comes next. And you can use your handle animal as an immediate action in place of your companion's saving throw. If you're adjacent. It could be nice on a will save, or if you're not confident on whatever other saving throw.
That fucking tax feat snuck in there though is oof.
Alertness sneaking in there, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, alertness just hiding there. That one is not my favorite to see.
Yeah.
But
Like, by far, that alertness isn't terrible, but oof.
It's better than Endurance, but I'm still not happy to see it.
yeah. So then we have Ire, Beastmaster's Ire. Whenever you activate the Beastmaster style's benefit, you gain a +2 on melee attack rolls and a +4 on damage rolls against the attacking creature. If your companion was dealt damage through your activation, those bonuses are doubled, and they last until the end of your next turn.
There's definitely a build to be had here.
That's what I said last night. I'm like, you know what? I can.
Okay.
Ferric
okay.
would have loved this. How dare you touch Umgak? It's time for their hammer drop.
So what you got to do is you've got to get in harm's way, or something to that effect, where you could like try and you got to try and find a way to like or no, it would be the opposite. Get it in harm's way so it can redirect attacks to itself.
So make it a bodyguard, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
there's an archetype for this.
Yes.
Yep. You do that and then
Force it to be the targeted attack, try and negate the attack. If you fail to negate the attack, you get big buffs.
yep.
Mm-hmm.
You get decent buffs even if you do succeed. And then you proceed to punish whoever had the audacity to attack your poor puppy.
Do this with a whip build and then you've just got a nice 15-foot range.
And yeah.
Oh yeah.
And it's flavorful with being a Beastmaster.
True.
Yes.
I like this feat.
It's a good feat chain, but I still hate that alertness.
I also hate
Alertness
that alertness.
Let's see.
alertness sneaking
just
in
wanna-
there is
Especially because it doesn't does it? Okay, it does at least benefit one of the skills that's in this fucking chain.
I mean, alertness also benefits perception as well, if I'm not mistaken. And perception
Yes.
is just a good skill to have. Because it's like the most rolled skill in the game.
Yeah, but depending on your class and what you're doing, your perception is either good or bad.
True.
I doesn't see that if it's a bad perception for whatever, like Jack, who didn't even have it as a trained fucking skill, and it wasn't that good. Alertness ain't fixing it,
Being fair though, most animal companion classes get perception as a class skill,
I suppose.
and are wisdom
But
based
then it's
classes.
going to be good. But then it's just going to be good. You don't
Yeah.
really need that alertness.
Yeah.
Yeah, alertness definitely in one of those situations where it's not really catching you because you're either just bad at it or good at it.
It's like
True.
being an 8. It's like being an 8 wisdom fighter, and you go, "I'm going to take Iron Will to shore up my will save." No, you're fucking not. You could try, but it's not going to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. You'd be better to just take that thing that lets you turn your bravery into a will, just a standard will save.
Yeah.
Which
and
you
then
can
take the thing
do
that
during
turns
your
it into an
natural
aura.
progression.
Yes. God, I can't wait to play Zaro because she's got that build.
Alright. And we have one more style set for the video. Linor
Now,
Hunter
this
style.
one is also a teamwork feat, so if you take it on a hunter, you will automatically grant it to your companion.
Yes. And if it's not on a hunter, well, your animal companion can qualify for it automatically because it can cheat. That being said, once per round, when an ally with this style hits a target, you both threaten in melee, you gain a +2 on AOs. Enemies that provoke AOs from your ally provoke them from you as long as you threaten. Linarm Hunter Retreat.
Hold on. Even if the situation or an ability would normally deny you the AOO,
Yes, such
So,
as a spring attack or
withdrawing-
withdraw.
uncanny dodge is like, nah. So not bad, I think.
I think that's actually pretty solid, and interacts well with other teamwork feats that you'll probably be taking, because you're probably taking this on a hunter, let's be honest.
Yeah, because you get free teamwork feats every now and then, so you're definitely going to have a few.
Yes. Now, retreat. When an ally using this style hits a target within a melee attack, you can basically immediate action take a 5-foot step. So, in a sense, you can sort of make some ghetto 10-foot steps you know,
Yeah,
between
because this
turns.
doesn't actually require you to have any movement left. You just make one.
Yeah.
Which is
And
good.
then we have Linum Hunter Coordination, which is probably the weakest feat in the bunch, to be honest. And what it does is it allows you a full round single attack action that allows you to deal extra damage equal to the damage of one of your allies' natural attacks. It's not multiplied on a critical hit.
Yeah, it's not multiplied. It doesn't trigger any special abilities it might have. I still think this would work better if you did this to just have your animal companion do a no strings attached attack on the side. That's what I think this should do. Because why is you being coordinated with your animal companion giving you just their base damage on the end of your weapon? That makes no sense.
I mean, my use case for it is if you might not be able to hit with your iteratives, at least getting one bigger hit out with your main hit. And if you happen to have a natural attack, i.e. from some source, being as you're probably a hunter or a druid, you can gain them pretty easily. That might be worthwhile for you in those cases.
I don't think so,
Because
though.
your animal companion could also benefit.
Reads how this works. Reads that it's being pretty open. Use that tactician ability to pick someone and end up stealing something like miseries. But
yeah, that's true.
Unnatural attack.
I mean, that'll work.
Oh yeah,
borrow this feat for a second. I can stab this thing with your mouth.
Oh, you mean dropping basically an extra 50 damage because Misery was a reasonable and balanced creature? Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes. Teamwork. Take advantage of her reasonable and balanced nature.
But you're not going to be seeing that on a standard animal companion.
Probably not.
No, but
Usually.
no, but that's why I was saying the tactician. You give it to your ally because it just says ally. It does not say the animal companion.
True.
Yeah. If you can tactician it onto allies, yeah.
Alright, so if you've got a dragon or demonic blood raider or something in the party that's hitting like God, sure, fine.
Yeah.
Sure.
If their single attack might do more damage than your other two attacks combined, it might be worth it suddenly again.
I mean, to be fair, it can also just be if you just ran up.
It takes a full round action to use.
I'm trying to see. Okay, there. Yeah, okay.
You see why I think he's bad?
Yeah. No, I get it. So unless you have just some abusable bullshittery.
Yeah. It's not great unless you have abusable bullshittery. There might be a few cases where it could be better than just full attack.
I think the first two could be taken and you won't feel bad about it. That third one you can probably leave off and save a free slot.
Yes.
You know, that's not wrong either. You could actually ignore the last feat because there's no benefit to taking it. Oh, it has a benefit, but it doesn't benefit the other feats.
It's because it's so restrictive. It only uses the damage, it triggers no special abilities, and you can't combine it with other things that you need to make a full round attack for.
Yeah.
If you could combine it with stuff, and it just triggered on... If that triggered whenever you make a single attack with a full attack, then it'd work. Then it'd actually be fine. But the fact you have to dedicate that full round to doing that one specific thing, nah.
It'd also be much better if it was just a standard attack action.
I mean, it's kind of the reason why a lot of people are iffy about Vital Strike, just because it's like, it's its own action. Is it Vital Strike? Yeah, so you can't use it at like the end of a charge and things like that.
Yeah.
It's like, it's its own special action that doesn't play well. At least that one is still more usable, but this is just like, it's too much of a restriction. Especially since you've already paid for things, and look, again, beautiful little fucking tax feet sneaking in there.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, there's a tax feet snuck in.
And again, both of the dodge.
Dodge snuck in.
Motherfucker.
Dodge sneaks in at like retreat though, and just kind of stays hiding there.
And
Wow, another reason to not take it.
and let's not forget, this and Beastmaster style both having that fucking charisma of 13 for no realistic reason, especially if you're gonna throw in a fucking feat tax. I don't know, when you're putting in a feat tax, I get extra angry that you're also gonna put in a stat tax, especially when this is made for characters that are probably not going to want to invest in said stat.
You know, they really are going out of their way to make this stuff about coordinating with animal companions and getting better, rarer, or more exotic animal companions, all just not worth it. What are they doing? Why? Worms.
Like, especially if they're just trying to say, oh yeah, but you're trying to make your companion do these special things, so you need the charisma for it. Why? I'm basically Tarzan who grew up with my monkey buddy here, and we already have a special bond. Hence why they're a class fucking feature.
Yeah, you could just get a devil monkey and give it a really big gun in it. I'll perform all of these. Do I not need charisma to teach him how to use a fucking gun?
Nope, you just need a fucking headband to get his intelligence up by at least 1 point, and then he's fine. Nah, that is my problem with a lot of the feats I've seen today, is like them having like charisma based things or just adding an attacks feat for no reason, and it just not being worth giving up. Like, let's say you're even going point by, giving up 3 of your stats to put into charisma and giving up 1 of your feats to take dodge just to go into this. It's like, is it really worth it? Like, it gives free 5-foot step. You know what? Like, I'm sure we can find better ways to get you around the battlefield than worrying about this.
I mean, I put quite a lot of value on the 5-foot step just incidentally happening for repositioning purposes. But yeah, it's opportunity cost of what else you could be doing with it.
Yeah, because you can't call it free with those costs.
True.
You've paid
right.
for
You're
them in
paying
creation.
heavily for it.
Yeah.
You're right.
Like, unless you're doing this with something that lets you just skip the prerequisites and just gives you the teamwork feat somehow, then it might be worth, but...
I don't think Hunter can cheat into teamwork feats.
I don't
think
think
they actually have to
them.
meet. They have to meet prerequisites.
Yeah.
Yep.
They can
Like,
cheat
they're not a
their
Slayer.
companions into
Like-
them, but they can't beat them themselves.
So many of these feats had cool ideas, shit restrictions.
We've looked at it between monstrous companion, this, and this. It's just, they're scared of it. They are scared of animal companions really shining. And it's strange. Because especially if you're playing that kind of character, the animal companion tends to be the focus of the character. It's the reason you've done it.
Okay, so hear me out. Hear me out. Eidolon trauma.
We've had animal companions since like 2nd edition.
Yeah.
Eidolon is relatively new. It's like they shouldn't have that. There should not be that trauma.
I mean, that's why I blame Spiritualist for being the way that it is.
Yeah, Spiritualist is absolutely Eidolon trauma though.
Mind you, I don't know if it's completely Eidolon trauma or just looking at the occult book and then looking at the 3.5 version of the occult book, the psychic book, and then being like, we have to fix that because that was busted as fuck.
Yeah, being able to just pull power points into it, whatever you want to do, and just having spells 3 times stronger than your contemporary casters just because you went lol power points.
Oh yeah, we're playing at this level. Oh, okay. Well, I've done the calculations, and if I spend exactly 150 power points, I can pull the moon out of orbit and smack the boss with it.
That's what my Wilder was doing. Like, yeah, I had a fairly large chance to just stun myself for basically 2 rounds, but damn, I could get a fucking 50d8 mind, like 50d10 force mind hammer down if I roll right.
I still remember I was playing that psychic race who can spend a power point to negate like 3 damage, like per power point you spent. And at one point the boss like rolled, got a fucking nat 20, crit or disintegrate. They had it maximized, and I'm just like, do the math, like, I spend 90 power points. Your disintegrate just fizzles off my mental shield. Smiles. Boss sitting there completely flaccid, like, yeah, your normal spellcasting can't compete with psychic spellcasting.
I mean, that's kind of the problem with the psionics, though, from the 3.5 derived stuff. It'd just be that way. Looks at Tome of Battle.
Yeah, well, that's
Yeah,
the
there's no,
thing.
don't
If
play a
you wanna
fighter anymore.
if you want to play a normal game of D&D, you can use like the ultimate magic and the regular stuff. If you want to play a fucking power anime fantasy, use Tome of Battle and Psychics.
True.
Wow.
Just basically just double the CR of the party because you opted into those.
Oh no, the Tarrasque is coming up to us. Okay, so the fighter's gonna use all of his abilities and take off its fucking leg, and then as it's falling over, I'm going to bend its other leg like a chicken leg with my telekinesis, and we're just gonna have Tarrasque burgers for supper.
All right. Probably time to go ahead and outro.
Okay. Sorry, we were complaining about the
Okay,
complete and utter waffle that was the 3.5.
a few of these
Yeah.
It was fun.
absolutely fun. You can do some stuff with it, but there's a couple of them on here that you like. If you want to make use of them, you got to talk with your DM and be like, hey, can we just like fiddle with this and try and make them better? Especially things like Monstrous Companion. You shouldn't be punished for wanting to have something out there as a companion, like to the point that your companion will be useless. If you want a succubus and you're talking with your DM, like your DM should absolutely be like, ah, you know what? Yeah, let's find a way to get you this at like level 12 or 13 where it'll actually matter. Not level
Yeah.
18 where it's going to show up, it's going to be like, oh yeah, I'm not going to help you in this fight because that's just going to kill me.
It's what happened with Trinian. He had a Valkyrie cohort, and once we were getting towards the end of things, it was just like, no, I'm not getting you killed. You're gonna have to be in support role. Yes, you want to fight, but also you're gonna die real quick.
I mean, even like Amaya, who kind of became a monster in the last book, but it's like as she did do a few things, made sure some equipment dropped specifically for the swashbuckler, just to make up for those 2 level difference because like she was feeling it. She's the only one that died as much as Bobble.
To be fair, she was also as like tactically incontinent as Bauble was. I'ma rush it, smash.
Did you say technically
Yeah.
incontinent?
Yes,
I mean,
tactically incontinent.
I mean, to be fair, the 2 things that did kill her, one of them was a Harpy will save, which, like, yeah, that could have happened to anybody who had a low will save. And the second one was fighting 2 copies of herself because, you know, Kaflang and her turned the corner in front of those fucking mirrors. The only thing that was able to kill her in a fair fight, 2 of her.
You know, you're right. Her running up to things and just blowing them up actually worked fairly well. No, you're right. You're right.
Ah, yes. The one time the party truly felt fear. 2
Oh,
fucking Kaflangs.
When Amala saw that and immediately made the tactical decision of I'm not turning that corner or we're all dead.
Yeah.
Misery, you're not allowed to go around the
Okay.
corner.
Yeah, you
Do not. So yeah, my view on this is you've kind of got a 3 strata split of there's 1 or 2 that are really good. You've got a small amount of them which you need to get the DM to fix because out of the box they don't work, and the vast majority of them may be just sad because they're not worth having. But of course, then there's the idea that you don't have to have an optimized character to do this. You can do fun, flavorful. So it's like if that's the campaign, you're running them fine. It'll work. That's it. But if you're expecting any kind of real pushback as far as difficulty goes, they are just a hindrance.
And even without that, like, I know some people that are like, oh yeah, but I love just like role play. Okay, cool, that's great. You built your character to be very flavorful and fun, perfect for what you wanted. But then you've got that one person who's built like an almost power build, and the person starts feeling bad because it's like, yeah, we went into the last fight and I hit for like 8 damage, and then that guy hit for 600. Like, I feel bad. It's like, well,
But
yeah,
here's the
that's kind of what happens.
Here's the thing, though. Even if not a min-max build, just a competent build, the exact same thing is going to happen. Like, even
Yeah.
a mid-power build is actually quite good and looks pretty impressive as far as the numbers go and what it can do. If you've not built for any of that to just even be a midline okay character, you're going to feel bad in comparison.
Yeah, like if you're playing some sort of melee and you didn't take like any of the power attack or weapon specialization or any of those things, you're gonna feel it.
Truth.
So yeah, I think a lot of these are a complete waste of time. And I
Yeah.
don't like that.
I actually think a lot of these were worthwhile with a few, if not several, stinkers just mixed in.
Meanwhile, I saw Vampiric Companion and Vampiric Animal Companion, and the first thing I thought of is I can create Batcat in Pathfinder.
Yes, you can.
You can make Batcat in Pathfinder. This is true. Yeah, I think that's it.
Yep. Well, if you guys enjoyed, consider leaving a like, maybe subscribe, possibly leave a comment or two. But otherwise, goodbye.
Ciao.